medium's been doing all the work, but I feel exhausted. Very well. We are here. And we are here to discuss the expansion of consciousness. What a lovely topic, eh? As they say in Mother India, you can't fit a large element into a small house. How true. So it is, you can't quite accommodate cosmic principles if the mind is small, but rather it should be vast. Obviously, we come not to tout, neither to tease, but rather to give you ways and means, my dear friends, ways and means. What else can we really do? By the great and holy law of free will, you're all of you free to do as you like. But in that you like to be here, and in that you like to be learning and growing, and applying yourselves, well then, it certainly makes total sense for us to, shall we say, meet you halfway. I've got a lovely suggestion that I think you would all benefit of through the careful usage. Here in your lovely Hawaii, you have got an exceptional and a special chance to use it. It involves gazing into the nighttime sky. Yes. It involves finding at your leisure some lovely spots that you feel comfortable and safe in. Quite all right to do this with others, mind you, trusted steps especially. And to, once you've got your vantage point, your perch, so to speak, then gaze, my dears, gaze indeed, upwards. Gaze into holy space. Gaze into the nighttime sky. Why such gazing? I say that you become that upon which you rest your attention. If you look deep into cosmos, you can't help but awaken the cosmic within self. If you look deep into space, you can't help but see the deep space within self. Makes sense, doesn't it? So, what we want to tell you then is this. One of the first things that you would be well advised to look for is the, can we call it the dimensionality of space. At a glance, one says, oh yes, quite lovely, you know, many little pinpricks of light, so many stars, very well, all right, I'm going on with my business. Back to the pub. But no. If you take your time on this, as we are suggesting, then we say the first thing you want to note is the tremendous amount of difference betwixt the nearness and farness of various planets and stars that you might be witnessing. In other words, again, at first glance it looks two-dimensional. It all looks like one flat photograph, a picture. Not at all, my dears, not at all. If you take the time, and I say that it may you might well if you do, begin to notice how some stars are infinitely closer to you than others. Oh yes. It takes approximately 2.5 to 3 minutes of focusing time on the average to begin to get this perspective. What you'll likely see is that certain stars will appear, well, actually quite close, relatively speaking, though they themselves might be thousands of miles apart. Nonetheless, note them. Note those that appear to be closest. See if you can't denote some kind of a pattern you might be able to. Looking yet further, you'll note that there'll be others further away, and yet others further away. And I say that if you get in the habit of doing it, you can sit and look again. What will be occurring is that you'll be using and thus specializing in the lens of your mind, not unlike a telescope. You'll find that by this exercise you begin to see, could we say, far, far, far into interstellar space. And when you do, it's going to have an effect on you, a very lovely effect, not to mention the beautiful effect that will occur by simply absorption of the thing called starlight, a very fine, but very real substance and wavelength of light. Look deep then, my dears, look deep. And you shall find that your mind, or what appears to be your mind, or perception of you, must indeed stretch to accommodate the vastness of cosmos. I say that if you take the time and cultivate the habit, and it's an ancient one obviously, of gazing far into decimal space, you shall find a very subtle but very powerful shift and change occurring right within your consciousness. Let us not forget, my friends, all things are relative, aren't they? Your own dear Mr. Einstein pointed that out. That is to say, one thing is small only in that it is compared to something larger. Next to something smaller, it is the larger of the two. So nothing is set, all things relative. So then we say that by absorbing, nay, by containing the vastness of space through the lovely portals of your beautiful eyes, you do bring into your beingness a whole new dimension of vastness, of majesty, of infinity, of power, and certainly of light. All these things going in, mixing and mingling with all that is therein already, can't help but have a bit of a difference upon you when again you put your attention upon the footstool kingdom that you call your world. The Lilliputian plane that we call the physical, which for all its loveliness is yet quite small, relatively speaking. So, friends, gaze, I say, gaze into the stars, become stargazers indeed, and you shall find yourselves learning. For you see, there's not one star that your eyes can fix upon that is not part of yet a greater pattern set up by divine mind. So in a sense, one would say you be reading the message boldly blazoned across the heavens. And though your conscious mind is far too minuscule to interpret it, at least at this point, you'll find that your greater superconscious self begins to read the heavens like one would read your daily newspaper. You begin to learn something of the patterns of space. I say ye be reading the very newspaper of God. And in reading this, ye do learn. It's a whole new language now. And then, when your day-to-day, things come about that ordinarily would have perhaps thrown you or caused you to go over kilter, they'll deter now. They'll seem trivial. They'll be laughable. You look at them and go, oh, that little thing. Yes. Well, we'll settle that in a twinkling, now won't we? You see, for your perspective, my dear, shall be a cosmic one. You don't have your eyes constantly fixed on nothing but this small third-dimensional world, but shall balance that perspective with the vastness of infinity. I don't know a better place you can go. So this is why I come. This is why I state these things, and why I urge you at your own leisure, at your own sweet time, to take advantage of these things. Why, oh why are these things not taught in the educational systems of the earth? And yet I say these things shall change until all is known, seen, and sought. And that again becomes the Eden it was intended to be. Nonetheless, a man must have a small day in eternity, show it how badly he can botch it up. I think he's done pretty well, don't you? But these things are about to be wiped away forever, as tears are wiped from the eyes, and replaced by the kingdom of heaven on earth, manifest and brought to bear by beings just as yourselves. Oh, dear ones, doubt not your individual power to change the society in which you live. I say it is endless and limitless, far more than when I did inhabit that place. You've got media. You've got ways of reaching now thousands unto millions. Won't you take these tools and advantages, fit yourselves to use them, I say, and watch how even a little, what would appear to be little contribution on your part when correctly sent out and in the right medium, can reach thousands and thousands of minds, and you change an entire complexion of life. There's but little time, my dears. Do what you can, won't you? And do know that any even thought that you think of improvement affects the whole, and the day is better for it. Very well. Such then is my message for you this day. And if you speak about things like psychic perception, that which I suggested with the mountain will only enhance it 3, 4, 10-fold. All things working together. All things working in order. God bless you, my dear friends. Your sweet friends and loved ones in the spirit world here with us do stand about you thickly, caressing you, loving you, encouraging you, and very joyous that you found your ways here. So be it. Another victory.